All right, folks, welcome back to the TNT show. In this episode of our breakdown series, we're covering the AFC North. So we got the Steelers, the Ravens, the Bengals, and it's always the fourth team that gives me. Who's the fourth team?
The Browns.
There we go, the Browns. Every time I get to the fourth team, it's always I draw a blank. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Yeah, so we'll start off with Baltimore. This year, I think I'm not gonna say Super Bowl or bust because that's tough to put that kind of weight on anybody's shoulders, but I think that's what's gonna be expected of Baltimore in the rest of Lamar's career. So,
Yeah.
you brought in an All-Pro running back. They brought in some pretty decent people on defense. It's just the offense, the wide receivers that are lacking. So we'll see what year three Zay Flowers is going to look like. So maybe he can come back and stay healthy because they need somebody. I don't think 57-year-old
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins is going to push that needle.
I agree. I mean, it's like you said, they made a little bit of moves. I mean, bringing in D Hop, I wouldn't say really, like you said, moves the needle like that. But
No, I
you never
wouldn't
know. A
think
good
so.
veteran presence. A good veteran presence. Maybe he has just a little bit left in the tank. Maybe he helps him get to a Super Bowl win. Who
The
knows?
reason I say that, he was with Patrick Mahomes and didn't do anything. So
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, you never know.
so it look
But I mean,
so apparently there's a deal between Adam Sandler and Derrick Henry that if he can run for 2K, they're going to put him in a movie. So do you think Derrick Henry runs for 2K this year?
I think he's gonna get the 2K done this year.
You think
But the
so?
only reason I say that though is because I mean, if you think about it, he's already done it before. He's got a great O line. I mean, he was really close to getting 2K last year, and that was with a quarterback who ran for almost 1,000 yards too. So you got to think he can easily break 2K for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But it just, like you said, it just takes away from Lamar. So, but
But
uh,
again, I think you hit the nail on the head though, because you said it's Super Bowl or bust. At this point, I think you're right because I mean they've done up to this point, they've made it to a conference championship. They came up short. They came up short against the Bills. I mean,
for
they
Lamar
found
to
ways
be
to
in that
lose.
kind of conversation of, yeah, he's a great quarterback, but for you to be, considered one of the greatest, I think you need to at least make it to one. I know some people never won one, but I think for him, and it's like I said earlier, I think this is my crazy take for the day. I think he has a better chance of getting traded than winning the Super Bowl. I said it earlier, offset. I just don't. He's missing something. I don't know what it is. I've said it 100 times on here too. I think it's a receiver. I think if he had just that one person that can kind of, you know, push that needle to where he needs to be. Because sometimes you can see Lamar tries to play hero ball and it ends up costing him. Look at the last couple of times they've been in the playoffs. Yeah, you can point the finger at Mark Andrews, but Lamar fumbled the ball a couple times. He makes mistakes trying to be the hero when he does it when he shouldn't have to be. So
Honestly, as far as that
do
playoff
I?
game with the Bills last season, I think they both played a part in it.
Yeah, they literally let the Bills win. They had them beat. The Bills really weren't doing a whole lot, really. Between Lamar fumbling the ball, Mark Andrews not catching the ball, and just poor play, they could have easily have beat the Bills.
Yeah, no, for sure,
So
agreed. I mean,
I don't
it's
know. It's like I said. I do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year? No. I mean, offensively, they didn't really get any better. So yes, you have Lamar. I get that,
yeah, but
but
I
it,
think I think they have a shot just like they did last year. They have a shot. I'm not saying they're like a
I'm looking at it
signing
from
Derrick Henry kind of.
look at it from we're going to get to them later in the next episode. But look at Philly. Yeah, Saquon ran for 2K, but they also had multiple receivers over 1,000 yards, and that helps when the run game never really struggled. But when you're one dimensional, it's going to be hard to beat teams just running the ball. Yeah, the Eagles did it, but they also were torching people through the air with the wide receiver. You can't stop everything. So I think that's what
No,
Baltimore's
that's true.
missing.
You
I think
can't.
they're missing. I think they're missing a wide receiver. No disrespect to Zay Flowers, but I think if they
Yeah, no, I
would
mean,
have got like, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, not everybody can have a superstar, but let's just say they would have got like Stephon Diggs would have got them there healthy.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it's when they signed Derrick Henry, everybody thought, okay, they're kind of more like a favorite now because they have an all pro running back. But again, like you said, when you're one dimensional and your main two pieces are run game, then you kind of have
It's
to
when you
have
get
somebody that
behind in
complements
games,
Zay Flowers.
you got to have somebody that can help him out because he is young. He's young.
Not to mention, not to mention the fact that he got hurt. Not saying that would have made a difference against the Bills, but he was hurt.
He didn't even
And they were
play.
still in that game, even
Yeah,
without him.
yeah.
Exactly. So
I mean, no
it,
disrespect to Rashad
it
Bateman, but he's great. He's a good receiver. He's just not that. You're not going to get 17 games like that out of him. He did great in the playoffs. Don't get
yeah,
me
he's
wrong.
not the full package.
Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, for sure.
He's gonna
He's just
get
not the
you.
full package.
He's gonna get you what you need when you need it. He's a veteran. He's been in the league a while. He's played a vital part of their team. But it's that you need the okay. We need you. So and that puts pressure on him because they're not throwing in the ball to anybody else. So, but yeah, let's jump
But no,
to
again,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl this year? Absolutely not. So
now I'm not saying they're gonna win it either, but I feel like again, even with the minimal additions that they made, I feel like they still have a shot. They still have that main core of people, and I think just that alone kind of
let's
makes
so
them contenders.
let's say
So
Baltimore doesn't. Let's say it's the same old Baltimore. They get to there, you know, they choke, however you want to call it. What's next? Because according to what I've read and other people that have been talking, Lamar is going to ask for an extension next year. Um, you got to give it to him, right? I mean, I guess you don't have to, but
I mean, you don't have to, but seeing as how
he's a two-time
it
MVP.
just
He's going to
depends.
want a lot of money, a lot. You're probably looking at
Yeah,
least
I
350,
mean,
400 if you just want me to be real, keeping it just being honest. I mean, they just gave Dak $60 million,
I
and he
mean,
hadn't even won an MVP or touched the conference championship. And Lamar is levels higher than that. Same thing for Josh Allen.
yeah, I was about to say Josh Allen. Yeah, he just got paid too, and I mean, he got that little. I guess he got an MVP.
So, but yeah, let's jump to Cincinnati. Um, Obviously their biggest thing is defense, and I don't know what they got going on um, with their defense. Not paying Shamar Stewart or doing whatever they're trying to do with this contract. Like you said, was paying T Higgins a mistake. Um,
That's my take on it. I feel like on the outside looking in, and again, this is my preference, this is my thoughts, this is my opinion. I think it was a bad idea to give him all that money when you could have took that and at least got you a solid defensive player, a corner, a defensive end with Trey Hendrickson. Clearly, they still haven't come to terms on the deal. Like they got to figure that out.
Yeah, I feel like Cincinnati's in that they're in the head scratcher. Like you have obviously you have a great offense. You have the team. It's it's the what are you doing? That's where they are. Like you pay you I get it. You got to pay Jamar Chase. He's one of those, wide receivers that you just don't see a lot. I get that. Joe Burrow same way. He's in my opinion should have won MVP last year, but that's besides the point. You don't really get these kind of athletes. Trey Hendrickson's the same way. You don't get these people very often, and they're kind of wasting it, if that's the right term, maybe. I think Joe
Yeah, I
Burrow's
mean,
in that conversation. It's not his fault. It's not. But, they can't start slow. I mean, last year they were like 0-5 before they even won a game. So they were started off rough. It was rough, but they finally figured out they just got to get back to the playoffs. They got to keep Joe Burrow healthy, and they brought back their defensive coordinator that took them to the Super Bowl. So maybe that'll help.
that's a good step.
So
I think that's a good step. I mean,
yeah, I mean he just took Notre Dame
I
to the
still
national
don't.
championship. So you went to the Super Bowl,
I,
went to the national championship. Now you're coming back. So
I still don't see the talent there for them defensively, but I mean, again, he was the coach of the defense
yeah,
when
maybe
they
that
went to
maybe
the
that
Super Bowl.
makes
So
maybe that makes the difference. So I think the talent is there. They're young. So
it's it was just you think it was just the system? It was a
I
bad
don't know. I
system.
don't know if they were. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We're gonna see. But they lost a lot on defense. They lost
Yeah,
Jermaine Pratt. Who knows what Trey Hendrickson's gonna do. Shamar Stewart hadn't even signed, so that was a waste of a draft pick. I defensively, they might suck. They may have to score 100 points a game. So
honestly, and again, here's my crazy take for today. I don't think Joe Burrow is going to have the kind of season that he had last season, this upcoming season.
offensively, I think they're going to be fine. It's the it's
Yeah, but I'm
it's the
saying like I don't think his
defense
numbers are
that
going.
I think is going to hold them back. I don't know, and that's another question mark. You've got these, you've got all your money tied into three offensive players, a lot of it anyway. So maybe if they have an underwhelming season, maybe you consider letting one of them go, trade one of
Yeah,
them.
I mean, I thought that's what they were going to do too with T Higgins, anyways. Get him his money, and then leverage that money to trade him for something defensively.
Yeah, but I guess that just shows how much pull Joe Burrow has because apparently he wanted to do. He took a well, he didn't take a pay cut. He restructured his contract to keep T Higgins. So that just goes to show. But at what price did it cost you on defense? But let's jump to Pittsburgh. Um, Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is their new captain. You know, what if Aaron Rodgers is terrible? What if you see the Jets? Is this Mike Tomlin's first losing season? Because I thought we were gonna see like what we've seen with Sean Payton. I thought we were gonna see a trade for Mike Tomlin for him to go somewhere else. But when you've had 18 or however many winning seasons, they're probably not gonna let you go. But it's like we talked about. At what point, I get it. That's sweet and all, but we're barely making the playoffs. We're wild card at best. But to be
First
fair,
round exit.
their quarterback situation since Big Ben left, since Ben Roethlisberger left, it's been trash. So I thought they had something with Justin
Yeah,
Fields
Aaron
and Russell
Rodgers is
Wilson.
the best quarterback they had.
So I thought they
I
had
think they should have
something,
gave
but
Justin Fields a shot.
yeah, I don't really know what was the purpose of getting him. But well, I mean, I know, I guess just in case, but I don't know. A lot of people, a lot of their team didn't seem to want him because of the he was dragging around, and it was pretty much either Pittsburgh or Aaron Rodgers had to retire. From what I've seen. So
I mean, he already said it was his last season this season,
yeah, I
so
mean he's
we'll
done
see what
after
he's
this
got for
year.
his
So
last ride.
yeah, we'll see.
I don't see them being competitive enough though, because all they have, they traded away George
Yeah,
Pickens.
see that didn't make
All
any
they have
sense.
is DK Metcalf,
Yeah,
which if he's, I mean, again, if he's healthy,
they
I mean,
traded
that's
Najee.
didn't they sign somebody else?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
They traded away Najee
So
Harris.
it's just I don't that rookie running back they drafted though. I think he should be pretty good.
Well, still though, you traded away George Pickens. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, that was the biggest head scratcher for me because I don't really understand. Maybe they did it for money purposes, or I don't know.
I don't
But
know who any. I mean, they
we'll
got
see. We'll see.
here's their depth chart for starting offense: Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Warren, DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin the third, Robert Woods, Pat Firemouth. That's it.
Oh man.
So
Yeah, see, I don't think they're gonna be that. That just doesn't sound like a top five offense.
yeah. So I mean, who what do I know? So
Exactly.
what do I know? But yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be the end for Mike Tomlin. I think this is pretty much it. I mean, unless they,
I don't. I think just given his history with the Steelers and how well
I
he's
think they're
done,
going to
I
give
think
him
they give
the
him the
Bill
benefit of the
Belichick
doubt because
treatment. Like, okay, dog, look, no disrespect. You're probably going to be, you're one of our greatest coaches of all time. Probably going to put you in the Ring of Honor, blah, 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 all that crap. We're going to part ways, but we're going to agree on it. We're going to part ways. He's going to get the Bill Belichick treatment. Kind of, sort of.
I don't know because Bill Belichick they were really bad and they were making a lot of bad picks and like everything. Like Mike Tomlin, he's
No
involved in a
matter
lot of their
what,
stuff.
no
They make
matter
really
who
great
has
draft
been in
picks. Like
control,
he,
somehow, some way, they find ways to win games. So I mean, yeah,
yeah, it's hard to ignore the fact of who he's won football games with. So I think
yeah,
you just have to
yeah.
take that
They
into
have been.
consideration.
I mean, they had aside from. I mean, a couple years ago, they were like what Mason Rudolph and whoever else. So
Yeah, I don't even know who.
so
So I mean, like I said, again, with the two quarterbacks that he had last year, Justin Fields started the team off 4-2, and Russell Wilson got him down the stretch at what 11-5,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they got
Russell Wilson
clapped
was
by
just better. Let's just keep it. Let's just shoot it where it is. Let's just shoot it straight. Russell Wilson was just better. He obviously, veteran status is playing a factor here, but he's going to make those throws Justin Fields wouldn't. It was just, I think Russell Wilson was just, like I said, just better. It is what it is. Um,
I just think I think Justin Fields should have got his fair shot. I understand why they
I
didn't
think
because
he
of
did.
course
They
there's
just
the
weren't scoring enough points. They just weren't moving the ball. They were winning some. They just weren't.
it's the
It was the
passing thing.
passing. They
It's the
weren't getting
passing
down the
thing.
field. Their defense was good enough that it didn't really matter. But you got to score points to win. So Russell Wilson could do that. So
Yeah.
But let's jump to Cleveland. Let's jump to the dumpster fire we got going on here. So I have no idea what they're gonna do. Um,
Yeah, they got like 5 quarterbacks.
yeah, and Shador isn't even on the depth chart, so I don't know what that means for him. Um, as of now, obviously Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson's not going to be the starter because he tore his Achilles. So technically, Shador he'd be fourth on the depth chart. So it looks like the starting. I'm assuming they're going to roll Flacco. If I had to assume, they got a good team. It's just I don't know what they're doing. They're another one of these teams that just can't seem to figure it out. You drafted two quarterbacks almost back to back when you signed two quarterbacks in the offseason. You signed Flacco, Kenny Pickett, then you draft Dylan Gabriel and Shador while you have Deshaun Watson on a $300 million contract. This is the weirdest quarterback situation I've ever seen.
Yeah, the only quarterback situation I could probably liken this to is when the Redskins took RG3 and Kirk Cousins in the same
Yeah.
draft.
I mean, it, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if Cleveland knows what they're doing. I mean, this is why I'm not a GM because I would have never done that. But other than that, I mean, they got a strong team. I think the run game's going to be really good with Judkins, Jerome Ford. They got Dylan Sampson. I think the run game's going to be good. They got a good receiving core. Jerry Judy, Tillman, and I ain't worried about Deontay Johnson. Um, they got David Njoku. They got a good team.
Yeah.
It's just they can't seem to
Oh
figure
yeah,
out a
solid.
quarterback situation.
It's that QB spot. That'll. I'm telling you, the QB spot makes the biggest
I would
difference.
assume
You can have a really good team, but if you don't have a quarterback, it doesn't
right.
matter.
It's like I said. I would assume preseason Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shador Sanders are going to battle it out. Joe Flacco, they're probably going to keep him for the remainder of the season just because. I mean, 2 years ago he took him to the playoffs, so he's got that veteran. I think you keep him and you cut Kenny Pickett or Sanders or Gabriel. You cut one of them or two of them because at the end of the day, you have Deshaun Watson still sitting here that realistically hasn't played. What? I couldn't even tell you the last time he played.
Honestly,
When was the last time he actually
I
played?
think when he comes back from that
He hasn't played
injury,
a full
I think
season
they just give
in
him his
4 years.
they give him his final shot, and then if it just doesn't work,
He
then
hasn't played a full season
it's
since
normal.
2020. That was the last time he played a full season of
Yeah,
football.
that's just normal Browns stuff. Nothing ever tends to really
So
work out for
basically,
them.
he hasn't played football in 5 years. Going on 6. So basically, you paid him all that money for nothing. So to each their own, I guess.
They gave up a lot to get him too,
Oh, yeah. So,
but like I said, I'm really not surprised. It's the Browns. This is what they do. They do a lot of head scratcher stuff.
I mean, they had a good draft aside from taking two quarterbacks. I would have been fine. No disrespect to Shador or Dylan Gabriel. But I would have been fine just not drafting either one of them. You got Deshaun. You got Kenny Pickett.
Well,
Okay, I'd have been fine drafting one of them. Let me put it that way. Either one. I wouldn't have took Shador if I'd have took Dylan Gabriel. What was the point of that?
I think they were just experimenting at that point.
I mean, yeah, it's like you said. It's like we've said. You took him in the 5th round, so what difference does it make?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think personally, I'm going to try not to be biased here. I think the Bengals are going to win the AFC North. I think that they're finally going to figure it out. As long as they don't get off to a slow start, I think they're going to be
Wait,
fine.
wait. You cannot lead the sentence with "I'm gonna try not to be biased" and then say the team
everybody
that
that
you're a fan
listens
of.
knows I like the Bengals. Okay, if I can't pick the Bengals, I'm going to pick Baltimore. I'm not picking the Browns or the Steelers because I don't know what they're
Personally,
going to do.
I'm gonna give you my solid order on how this division is gonna pan out. Obviously, the Browns are more than likely gonna be
Oh
fourth
yeah, they might not
because the
win a game.
Steelers at least have their quarterback situation. Yeah, the Steelers at least have their quarterback situation figured out. Now, I will be honest, if the Bengals can come out hot, stay healthy, and their defense looks good, they can win the
Oh yeah, for
division.
sure.
But Baltimore is clearly the favorite because they pretty much kept their whole team intact, and they brought in more defensive players, drafted some really good defensive
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
They probably have like the best safety duo in the league right now.
Yeah, their defense is going to be really good. They fixed what they needed to.
So yeah, I think the Bengals definitely have a shot to win the
Yeah, it's
division, but
like you said.
Baltimore is
It's either
definitely the favorite though.
Baltimore and Cincinnati should be on top here. I think Pittsburgh, they'll be like they usually are. They'll be a wild card team if Aaron Rodgers can be somewhat decent. Who knows? The Browns may shock the world. Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Shador, Flacco, whoever it is, may come out and they may win the Super Bowl. Who knows?
They're gonna play all four of them.
So, I mean, and you might as well
Every single game they're gonna
just rotate.
every single game they're gonna play
One,
all
you
four
get
of
first quarter, you get second, you
them.
get third, and you get fourth, buddy. So yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said, it's probably Baltimore. Obviously everything you want is there. The Bengals are the question mark on the defensive side and they start off slow every year where they don't win the first couple games and that kind of costs them. So consistency for the Bengals, staying healthy, keeping the defense off the field probably more than on it. So, because their defense was terrible last year. Last year they started to figure it out, but it was too late at that point. But yeah, we won't get too much into that. But yeah, that's going to wrap up the AFC North.
All right, well,
Joe Burrow for MVP.
if you made it this far in the video, all right. If you made it this far in the video, if you had to choose between Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow for MVP, who would you go with? And we'll leave it at that. And we'll catch you on the next episode.